Welcome to Nico's Nonstop Sports, where today I'm going to be discussing if I think Antonio Brown is going to make or break the Buccaneers. For those of you unfamiliar with who Antonio Brown is, I would say he's one of the greatest wide receiver talents of my lifetime. In at least the 2010s, I would say he was arguably a top receiver for a good 5 to 6 year stretch. His main competition at that point for arguably the greatest wide receiver would mostly be Julio Jones or Calvin Johnson. I would say at this point he's only 32 years old, so he still has a lot left in the tank. And the main problem as to why he would break the Buccaneers is the fact that he's been having a lot of off-the-field issues in the past 2 years. So during that stretch that I mentioned, from about 2013 to 2018, he had 6 straight seasons where he had over 1,300 receiving yards, which is incredible. And in his last full season that he was able to play back in 2018 with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he managed to get over 100 catches that season. He had over 1,300 receiving yards, and he also had 15 touchdown catches. So now that we have a little bit of background on who Antonio Brown is, let me answer the question at hand. Do I think Antonio Brown is going to make or break the Bucs? Honestly, I think that he is going to help more than he's going to hurt, and let me explain why. Reason number one that I think Antonio Brown is going to fit into the Bucs very well is for the fact that I feel he's already comfortable with the schemes and how the offense functions. The reason that I say that is because the current Bucs coach, Bruce Arians, was actually the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh for 2 whole seasons when Antonio Brown played there. So therefore, Antonio Brown's going to be able to come right in and make an instant impact on the field because he already knows how the schemes work and how Bruce Arians runs his offense. In addition to having a prior relationship with the head coach, Bruce Arians, he also has a relationship with Tom Brady, the Buccaneers quarterback. Last season in 2019, when Tom Brady was still playing up in Foxborough with the Patriots, Antonio Brown actually came in and played 1 game in the regular season with the Patriots. And in that 1 game, he had about 5 or 6 receptions, I believe, for about 60 yards and 1 touchdown pass. And him and Brady seemed to have some pretty good chemistry on that 1 game that they played. Unfortunately, after that game, due to off-field issues and concerns, he was eventually cut from the team, and he has not been back in the NFL since last season. Reason number 2 that they should sign Antonio Brown and not be concerned about it is for the fact that they've had a lot of injuries at the wide receiver and tight end position this year. When healthy, I would argue that the Buccaneers actually have the best receiving core in the league. Some people might argue it's the Chiefs, but I would take the Bucs personally. When you're healthy, you got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski. You usually would have tight end O.J. Howard, who's out with an Achilles or an ACL injury for the rest of the season. But you've also had consistent injuries between either Mike Evans with hamstring and ankle problems or Chris Godwin, who's been having a number of issues such as concussions, hamstring issues, and now a broken finger. If they can get all of those players healthy when the playoffs roll around, the league better watch out. There is not a single secondary in the NFL that is capable of guarding all of those deep threats. You have a healthy Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, and Antonio Brown. There is no way that they're going to be able to stop all 4 of those players in one-on-one man coverage. Even if they try running a zone, Brady's going to pick it apart. And if they try rushing the passer, it's going to leave a lot more one-on-one coverages, and Brady's going to easily be able to throw it to whoever the open guy is. Another important thing to mention about the Bucs offense is they are not just an air raid, throw it down the field offense. They also have a very efficient running game with 2 very, very good running backs. Their main running back that they use, Ronald Jones II, is the 4th leading rusher in yards in the whole league. And their backup is Leonard Fournette, who, as we know, when healthy, can be a very effective back as well. I know I've talked a lot about the offense in this video so far, but I do want to kind of switch gears and look at the other side of the ball, see what they look like on defense. And I'm also going to give you my prediction as to how far I think that the Bucs can actually go once they reach the playoffs. So first, let's look at the front 7 for the Buccaneers, meaning the linemen and the linebackers. Right now, in the whole entire NFL, I would argue that either the Steelers or the Bucs have the best front 7 in the league right now. The reason that I might give a slight advantage to the Steelers at this point is simply for the fact of the Bucs just lost Vita Vea for the season. He was a really big part of that defensive front, and now he is gone for the season. Statistically, the Bucs are looking very good this year on defense. They are number 1 in rushing defense. They only allow about 66 yards a game on the ground. And if we look at their pass rush, they also have one of the best pass rushes in the league, and they have the 2nd most sacks in the NFL at this point with 25. One thing about this team that does concern me slightly is the fact that their secondary is made up of all very young players, but they have 2 things going in their favor that are going to help them. One being that they are all very lengthy and very athletic. What I mean by that is the length. They're all 6 feet or taller, meaning that they're going to have long arms, have a good wingspan to be able to guard and man coverage, so they should not get burned. And also the fact that they all ran a 4.40 or lower. So they're all very fast, very lengthy, very athletic, and they should be able to cover the receivers long enough to allow that really good front seven to rush the passer and be able to put some pressure on him, make him uncomfortable, and either sack him or force him to make a bad throw to where the quarterback is going to be throwing it right into the hands of those Bucs secondary players. We've talked about the offense. We've talked about the defense. Now I'm going to let you know how far I think the Bucs are going to go this year. In my opinion, the Bucs are going to make it all the way to the Super Bowl. They're the best complete team that I've seen in the NFC. The second best team that I've seen to this point in the NFC is Seattle. My issue with Seattle is that their defense is basically non-existent at this point, whereas with the Bucs, you can trust that they're going to show up on both sides of the ball every Sunday. So to me, that is the X factor between the Seahawks and the Bucs. So I think the Bucs make it all the way to the Super Bowl, which is being held in Tampa Bay this year. And to prove to you that I actually do have faith and believe in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year, I'm going to put a screenshot right here of me putting a $50 free bet that I got from one of my betting sites right on the Buccaneers to win the whole thing, and it's week 8 in the NFL season. So I'm putting this down way before the playoffs even start, and if it hits, it'll be a nice payday for me. But just to show you that I actually do believe in what I'm saying, there's the proof in the pudding. As always, thanks for the support and checking out the channel. Go ahead, like the video. Please subscribe so that way you don't miss any of my new videos that come out. I'll be posting about 1 to 2 times a week about sports betting, sports news, my opinions, my thoughts. And also go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Bucs this season. Do you think, 1, they're even going to make the playoffs? And 2, if they do make the playoffs, how far do you think they'll go? I'd love to read down below what you guys think about that. And also, if there's anything that you'd like to see me cover, please go ahead and leave that in the comment section down below so that way I know what you guys want to see.